Yo, what's up everyone? So I've been wanting to do a video on the best crossout settings, or what I think and what I use for a long time. What are the best settings for crossout? So yeah, what I'm gonna start with is the interface, then we go to audio, but it doesn't really matter. Then controller layout, what I show you there is my sideways settings, etc. And how to have a scope on L or R1 if you want it. And then the controller settings, basically all about sensitivity, which aim assist type you should be using, etc. So in the interface, I mean, you can just do a screenshot of this, obviously, and I'm just gonna explain to you the settings which needs explaining pretty much. Um, so yeah, I think we start off with the side color. So I've been seeing a lot of people just trying out different stuff with the side color. I've also been trying stuff, but I've went back to having it on white for the simple reason that people love the black color, and most people's vehicles are painted black. So the best contrast for black is white. So you see the best. You see the crosshair of yourself the best on the enemy's vehicle. So yeah, we just have that on white. And quite a big thing, I think, is the scope activation. Ever since they added a scope that doesn't require an energy point, I think this is really helpful, and I've been using the scope. So what do you want it on? You definitely want it on hold, for the simple reason I'm gonna show you that. Let's switch that to race 2. So if I have a Scorpion hover, and I don't like that fucking tree in the back, you know, that's my enemy. With having it on holding, you know, I hold L1, I see the tree, and I shoot. And I go back out of the scope, with basically letting loose of it, you know. We zoom in, we shoot, letting loose of the scope, and we're back out, zoomed. So if you don't have it on holding, if you have it on pressing, what it does is every scope has 2 levels. And by having it on pressing, you need to press it once, then you're zoomed in. Then you might do the shot, and then you want to zoom out of it again, because obviously you're reloading and you just want to see the buildings on the map and just fly back into cover. But with having it on press, you need to press it again, it zooms to ×8, and then it goes out. So you press once, you shoot, you press again, and then you go out. It might not seem like a lot, but this is like an extra half a second that might end up on you being shot back instead of being back into cover. So you want this on hold. This doesn't really matter. On the top here, I think the only thing that you really need to have, you know, most of them don't really matter, is reverse mode. You definitely want this turned on for the movement of hovers and mechanical legs, just makes it feel more natural. Then we go over to the right side. What's the big thing here? The map, definitely. So minimap size, you want this on large. I'm just gonna show you once, like my settings, just watch the bottom right. This is how I have it. Also the markers, you want to have them on medium. I'm just gonna show you the contrast. Small, you definitely don't want them, because you just you miss out on people going cloak, you know, on your bottom right on the minimap if you have it on small. And also, I don't think you want the large, because I think on large you don't see that well where the enemy exactly is, you know. On maps that have a lot of buildings in between and stuff, the map, how do you say that? Yeah, the arrow of the map on the bottom right, it's just too big with having it on large. You can't quite see where exactly the enemy is, so you definitely want this on medium. I think this is the sweet spot, and you can see it the best way, yeah. So going farther down, minimap scale, definitely all the way left. What it does, if you put it on right, is it zooms in more and you just see less of the map. On PC you get away with seeing less on the map, because you can just press your map all the time and still fly. while having it pressed, but on console you can't move your hovers or anything. You can't control your build while having the map opened. So what you want is on the bottom right, you want to see most of the map that you can. So you put it all the way to the left side. Minimap rotation is debatable, I think. I have it turned on just because I'm used to it and I like it that way, but I've also seen people turning it off. I think just do what you're used to on minimap rotation. So coordinate grid is the next thing. You want this turned off because it just gives you no benefit having, for example, A1, I guess, will be here, because you're never gonna tell your teammates, okay, let's push this guy on A1, you know, what instead you do with the added system of the markers, you know, you just press here. Yeah, well, I guess you can't press there. Why can't I press anything? Well, yeah, now it works. Okay, well, basically you press this on the map wherever you want to go. You just press it and everyone sees it on the map anyways, you know, it's just way easier. So, going down the list, what matters next is the colors. You can ignore these three because I'm not playing raids since about 2 years. Still have that on 800. Enemy on green, why do I have that? I just feel like, again, it's easier to see people go in cloak with having it on green, just because it sticks out that much. If this arrow, for example, now disappears on the map, I feel like I see it better with having him on green instead of having him on red. For example, on maps like Founders Canyon, while yes, you could say on a map like Bridge, green is worse, but to be fair, on Bridge, nothing really happens anyways. Usually people just sit. And it's still okay on Bridge, but on any other map, green is just fucking perfect, you know? So that's why I have it. But yeah, again, just put it on red if you want. I guess most people will just leave it on red, but I have it on green. So audio doesn't matter, to be honest. Just do whatever you want. Controller layout, yeah, this is quite a big one. Yeah, so basically these are the hover settings. You can just do a screenshot. And if you want the scope on L1, you know, you just put the scope there. But yeah, I really like it because, I mean, why not have it there, honestly? You're always gonna have either R1 or L1 for shooting, whatever you prefer. And then you don't really need the other button, you know, the L1 or the R1 is kind of free. So I think it's pretty nice. I still have it on press, see, it's just fucking shit. I think it's pretty nice doing the scope on whatever is not your shooting button. So if you have your Scorps, Typhoons or whatever on L1, just put the scope on R1. Scope really helps, I think, in some occasions. Especially if your eyesight is not the greatest. So yeah, sideways settings. These are my normal settings. Just do a screenshot if you want. Normal settings, not really anything special though. So then we go over to the controller settings. Camera distance, basically putting farther on left means more zoomed in. This means more zoomed out. I find 0.0 to be the sweet spot in between. Sensitivity is very debatable as well, you know, but I think I can give some recommendations, but copying it won't really help, I think, like just my settings, because it really is personal preference in the sensitivity. So what I would recommend though is not going lower than 2.0 on the x-axis and not going higher than 4.0. I feel like higher is not needed. Crossout is a slow game anyways. And lower is just too low, lower than 2. my opinion. And then the y-axis, I think you should always have it at least half of the x-axis, whatever your x-axis is, you know. But here again, I have it pretty low, but see, I'm just gonna showcase it. It still is more than fast enough, just because Crossout don't really have multiple layers, you know. It's just all on the same level pretty much anyways. So what I would recommend in the y-axis is not going lower than 1.0 and not going higher than 3.0. I have it on 1.2. Well, steering input non-linearity, it's the same thing. It's very personal preference wise. I have it on 2.8. I think this is good. But I also have clanmates which play on 1.0, which is basically all the way to the left. So I find it hard here to recommend stuff. I feel like you just need to test this for yourself and find out what you think is the best. I have it on 2.8. Aim assist is the next big one. Basically, any player that plays now, or I mean, let's say 95% of the players have aim assist turned on. Well, because of which reason? It's pretty simple. No one wants to be putting himself in a disadvantage. There will always be people having it turned on. And you don't really want to lose a punny duel, for example, just because he has aim assist and you don't. That just sucks. So yeah, everyone just has it turned on. Which one do you want? I think it's a pretty simple rule. If you play DPS guns, then for sure you want to have standard. Why? Because it gives you more of an aim assist, more of a follow-up, you know, on the gun itself. Yeah, it's just better for DPS guns. So anything which is like Reaper, Helios, Punisher, put standard. Then on cannons, you might want to turn it off or put precise in. But on cannons, I don't think it really matters, to be honest. So the advice I'd give you on the aim assist is just DPS guns, put it on standard. Burst guns, see what works best for you. So yeah, this was it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next stream.